Hey, I'm Blake from EcoNet. I have 3 projects I want to get to this week. First is testing this car sensor. It's a Matter device. I'll probably waterproof it and put it on my gate at the front of the property. This Matter Tapple Wi-Fi light switch that is going to replace a failed, I think it's a Z-Wave switch that I use for my outdoor security lights on the east side of the house. Today I'm going to talk about a smart irrigation system. I'm basically upgrading the unit that I put in previously. It's had some trouble that I'm going to talk about now. So my irrigation system it's especially important now that we have these new podocarpus hedges in. And last year we lost them because we had somebody staying at the house that tampered with the irrigation system and it turned it off for a bit. So my upgrade is going to make sure it's kind of tamper-proof for humans and tamper-proof for non-humans, like I think the squirrels get at this part. So the system was working fine until I think the squirrels got at it this second try. And as you can see, I've made my own manifold here out of PVC piping. But I'm going to be replacing that manifold because it has the built-in valves with this off-the-shelf manifold. As I said, has these built-in valves that just give me a bit more control, because these kind of leftover Bulldog parts from our R&D days on the product, they don't have a clutch, so you can't really open or close these without them being powered up. As I mentioned, I'm only using the Bulldog type solution because I can. For your average DIYer who's looking for a smart home irrigation system that works with a standard garden hose, you should be using something like this. This is a flow and on-off device that you hook up to your garden hose tap for output, and then you can control it. And I would have put the multiple, I have that 5-channel manifold. You could put up to 5 of them on there and have 5 zones. And this has the added value of it measures flow as well. I'm not sure I would use that. I'd be more of an on-off thing, and as opposed to once there's so much flow. But that's a cool option. So I'm going to stick with these valves, the same valves. I'm going to have to add some kind of fitting to go from the 1-inch PVC connection, or the 1-inch valve that's on here, to a 3/4 inch garden hose connection on each of these. I'm going to stick with the Z-Wave controller. They worked fine. And I'm going to tidy up the whole assembly and put it in an upgraded garden enclosure. Hopefully this enclosure will keep it from tampering from humans and squirrels or any other creatures. All right, so I've used up 3 positions on the 5-position manifold, and I've had to add adapters at both ends because this has a 1-inch valve, NPT regular plumbing type valve, and we want a garden hose, which is a 3/4 inch garden hose thread, or GHT. So I've had to add adapters at both sides of this to bring it out to a proper garden hose. The first 3 are going to be controlled with the EcoNet's Z-Wave controller, and I'm going to add 2 more. One's going to be, this is a Zigbee that's going to work with Smart Life. I have to add a little Zigbee hub for the Smart Life, and I'm going to connect that to SmartThings indirectly with the cloud to cloud. And I'm probably going to buy a similar one to this, but Wi-Fi that also works with Smart Life, which will work without the hub, just for fun. So now I need to figure out how to get this all tidied up and somehow secured inside this garden box. All right, let's get this garden box put together. All right, 6 pieces that snap together fairly easily. I've done this before for my Canadian location and the DIY smart home irrigation solution. All right, so it snapped together easy, and I just need to figure out, come up with some kind of brackets to hang this in here, and I'll do that. And I'm going to make a hole in the bottom to bring all the 3 or 4, well, I guess it'll be 6 in total if it's using all 5 channels for output and 1 channel for input. I'm going to make a hole in the bottom to accommodate all those garden hoses, and I guess I'll probably bring the power input through that same hole. And I'm going to be powering this off of one AC adapter, sharing it over the 4 or 5 valve controllers. All right, so I've secured a plastic, which is good for outdoors in Florida, a piece of 1x2, and then I added a couple screws in the way of hooks, and I should be able to just hang this in here now. Let's just all right, so now I'm going to make a rectangle hole in the bottom, or opening, for the 5 cable or 5 garden hoses using my multi-tool. All right, so I've tidied up the controllers and label them for my own purposes, and I'm going to put it behind the studio there. I have already set up the 12-volt power out from behind the stool. I just drilled a little hole in the back wall and plugged in an adapter on the inside, AC adapter, and I have the splitter here that will split it. So I'll have one adapter for 3 controllers and 3 valves, and you can get away with that because in standby mode it uses very little power, and it'll be turning each motor one at a time. And I have my hole in the bottom that I'm going to be tucking through the garden hose. All right, it's in there and hooked up. Let's see if it works. Of course, Murphy's Law. I turned on the feed without closing the 2 open valves, but I've sorted that out now. So I combine these 360 sprinklers in combination with a drip system. So the sprinkler is 1 channel and the drip is another channel. And this is the drip system in action, and I mainly use for my podocarpus hedges. And the 3rd zone I use for my utility hose for filling the pool and just watering by hand and filling the bird feeder. And I have it on a button here that I've just wrapped in silicone tape so I can conveniently just turn it off and on when I'm local to it. I've also set notifications, so when the system comes off and on, I'm notified, which is kind of nice to know that it's working on schedule as I set it up when I'm away for weeks at a time. And it's even kind of cool when somebody uses the utility hose, like the pool guy or the yard people, I get a notification. So it's just another indication that somebody's there and they're doing their job. So let's review the basic pieces and pricing for your own DIY 3-channel irrigation system that could be expanded to 5 channels. The basic manifold, the 5-port manifold, is $35. The Wi-Fi controllers that I've mentioned previously, not the Bulldog versions, they're about $30 each, so that's $90 for 3 of them. I'm not going to talk about the sprinkler or the hoses or the drip irrigation system. Then the final piece is the garden box at $37. So that brings it to about $162. Now I have a cool 3-channel expandable to 5-channel irrigation system that I can set to keep my my hedges watered while I'm away for weeks at a time, and I can use it for the utility hose, and I can get reports when people use it or when I even use it, and that's cool. Please like and subscribe and look for my next video. Cheers.